So I'm out and about in the woods today. I've got Ruby with me and she is going to keep me company while I take a few pictures, have a wander around and take a little video every now and again. And what I want to do today is show you how to get those photos and videos off of your camera and onto your computer so you can do the next thing with it. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, let's go and take some pictures. So we've got some daffodils and some trees in the background and Ruby, of course. And then what I can do is take some pictures of these, and that will be a nice contrast of the tree in the background and then the yellow of the daffodils, seeing that spring is on its way. And we found another nice bit in the woods where there's more daffodils and more trees, and it's just so peaceful. And this is what I like to do with my photography, is just get out and about and explore and find out what's around. Everything's different at different times of year, so it's just a really good adventure. Ruby enjoys it as well, because then I keep stopping and starting, and there's just lots for her to see and do as well, and lots of pictures and videos for me to come back and share as well. So we've been out this morning taking some pictures and some videos out in the woods, and got some lovely pictures of daffodils. So now what I want to do is I've got my Z5 and I'm going to get the pictures off of that using the SD card that's in the camera and then transferring that into Lightroom. Lightroom is what I use, and I'm using the kind of the newer version, the Lightroom where it stores things in the cloud. And what that means is that once I've imported my photos into there, I'll have access to them on my iPad and on my phone as well. So wherever I am, I can edit them. I've moved over from Lightroom Classic, where everything was stored locally, to Lightroom in the cloud, just because it's a little bit more convenient for me. There's not any real difference between the two. Lightroom Classic does have a couple of extra features, but Lightroom is catching up, and one of the big ones was color coding your images, which you didn't used to be able to do, but now you can. So we'll have a look at that as we go along. You'll probably see some things colored in my gallery when I show you, but for now, let's start with this. So remember last week at the side, we have a slot for our memory card. We push it in, and then that gets our SD card out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my laptop, and I'm going to put it straight into the laptop. So it goes in there. And then you can see on Lightroom that you have the option to then add photos in this top left-hand corner. So we'll go into that. And we want to choose the connected device of the Nikon Z5, which is the card that I've just added. So we'll click onto that one. And then what you'll see is it will bring up everything that's on that SD card. So here we have, as you can see, 50 items. And we can scroll through, and this is predominantly pictures that I've taken. But as you can see here, there's also movies. I don't want to import the movies into Lightroom. I'm going to use somebody else for those. So for the moment, I'm just going to untick anything that says MOV and then has a picture of a video camera. It doesn't matter if I accidentally import them. It doesn't cause any trouble or anything like that. I just want to save my time because I don't want them in Lightroom. I can import them and delete them. That's not a problem. But for now, I've deselected those ones, and I can choose if I want to go into a particular album. So for this is my photography journey. Do I want them to go in an album called Me? No, I don't. I want to create a new album, and I'm going to call them Woodland in Spring. And then I'm just going to click create, and that will create that album. You can see up at the top that that's where it's going to add them to. And then I can click add 48 items, and it's going to import those items into Lightroom. You can see at the top here the progress, And you can see as it's syncing each of these to the cloud, you've got a little circle down here as well, which is showing you how that is going and how you're able to then edit them anywhere, like I said. Once those have imported, you can then eject your SD card, put it back into your camera, and then reformat it so that you're starting with a blank canvas. What I tend to do is not format it straight away, just in case there's any problems. I accidentally delete something, it doesn't import properly. I've never had any problems like that, but I like to have that backup copy, so I leave them on the SD card until I know that they are definitely in my computer in the Lightroom ecosystem. So I'm just going to eject the Nikon Z5 SD card, and then I can remove it from my computer. And I also was taking pictures on my Z30. So what I'm going to do is show you a different way that I can import them straight from the camera onto my computer without having to actually take out an SD card or anything like that. So in order to do that, all we need is a USB cable. So the Nikon Z30 has got a USB-C sized port on the side here. So I'm going to plug one end of my cable into that. And of course, the other end will go into my computer so that that's where the connection is. So I'm just going to plug that into the side of my laptop. And then again, it's asking me, do I want this accessory to connect? And I'll allow that. And then it's the exact same process now. So up to the left-hand corner and click Add Photos. And now you can see that my connected device is the Z30 rather than the Z5. But this time, rather than connect it through the SD card, I'm connecting it straight to the camera with a cable. So let's click onto that one. And again, same thing. It will bring up all of the images that are on this particular, on the memory in that particular camera. And it will store, well, it won't store yet, but it will bring them all up on here for me to do something with. So again, I can select the Woodland in Spring album that I've put the last ones into so that everything is kept together. So if this was a wedding or if this was a branding or corporate shoot, then having everything in that particular client's folder just means that everything is a lot easier to manage, folders, subfolders, and organizing everything by date as well. And something else that makes managing your pictures a lot easier is making sure that the time is correct on all of your cameras that you're using. So ideally, double check them, sync them via Wi-Fi or something like that to make sure that the time is accurate, so that if you're shooting a wedding, for example, and you've got different cameras that you're using at different times, when you import them all into one folder, everything will be in order as long as you sort by time. So again, let's get rid of the movie clips, and there's me. So let's take off some of these. I don't need these ones. I've got an accidental selfie of my chin there, which I don't think we really need. So I'm not going to import that one. So I will untick it then. So if I don't spot all of these and I accidentally import them, it's not the end of the world. I can delete them afterwards without any trouble. So we've got 18 photos to add here. So again, I'll just click on that and you see them coming into my Lightroom. Same thing as before, importing progress up at the top, and then the syncing progress on each of the individual photos as well. On Lightroom, in the top right hand corner, you can see that you've got item syncing, and that you can also see how much of your cloud storage that you've got. So I've got 1 terabyte of cloud storage with Adobe, and I'm currently not using very much of it at all. So I've got plenty of space free to add more photos and videos. So while that's all uploading, that is the process basically. So using either an SD card or using a cable, that just makes the process as easy as possible for you. There's different options. And then even on my Z6 III, there's another option of being able to just import directly over Wi-Fi from the camera into Lightroom, which again is very useful. The end result is the same. You get the same pictures at the same quality into the same place. It's all about ease of use. So whether a cable is easier for you, whether taking out an SD card is easier for you. My laptop luckily has got an SD card slot on the side, so I don't need an adapter or anything like that. So if I did, I probably wouldn't use that method. I would probably use the cable method. And it's just all about making your life as easy as possible so that you can get your pictures into where you want them to be so that you can then edit them. I've covered the basics of editing in Apple Photos and in Lightroom before. I might do a bit of a refresher on that and some other techniques that you can use, some other programs, so get subscribed to see that one. But otherwise, get out there, take some pictures, and then get them onto your computer so you can edit them, you can print them, you can email them to people, whatever you want to do with them. And hopefully you're experiencing spring as well. So here's to some more sunshine. Have a great week. Bye.